morning, Rick.
Good morning. How are we?
Very well. How are you?
Well, this is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? This is as we delve deep into the imagination. This is my Mickey Mouse Fantasia moment where we're going into that lovely third eye chakra. So I'm really excited about this one.
This is my wheelhouse as well. As much as we both love the throat chakra, being spiritual individuals, having spiritual businesses, the third eye is oh so important to us, making sure that that's wide open or putting it to bed at the end of the night so we can get a decent night's sleep. But thank you everybody for joining in and going on this chakra vacation at the chakra resort that we're at. We're having such a great time here. So just to recap, I'm going to recap everything. So far, we have gone to the lobby with the root chakra. We got our bearings there and kind of established ourselves at the resort. We went to the restaurant to fuel up for our sacral chakra. We went to the music room for our solar plexus. And we went to the spa to replenish our heart chakra. And then we really busted it out in the karaoke bar for our throat chakra. And today we are going to go to the meditation center, the chapel, the Zen part of the hotel, so that we can talk about this third eye. So, Rick, tell me a little bit about how you feel about that third eye chakra and some of your experiences with it.
Yeah, it's this one is I said in earlier videos that the one that causes me the most trouble is the sacral chakra. But in reality, when I started out with all of this, so to give you a tiny bit of my backstory so we don't steal too much time, I started out my work by going to a spiritual church. It was actually a community centre that doubled as a place of worship. So every Sunday we'd go there and there would be a service put on. And then afterwards, they'd run what's known as a circle. And a circle, you sit there in one another's collective energies, and you start to pass on messages, or if you feel that there's something there that needs giving out there, or card readings, all sorts of little things there that help you enhance and advance your spiritual experience. Now, I turned up there, fresh out of the prison service, 2013, very anxious, diagnosed with PTSD as a result of a riot in the prison service, lots of depression, lots of anxiety, and because there was lots of massive changes going on ahead of me. And then it was suggested to me that I had a future on this spiritual path. Well, I'll tell you what, you could have knocked me down with a feather, because I just didn't get that at all. I'd just come because I was searching for something. And what spirit has done for me, and the spiritual life has done for me, is helped me find an inner peace. So I went into this place hungry, and I mean hungry, to learn more of what these people have got, because majority of the people that I met in this place were chilled out. You know, nothing was too much trouble. They quite happy to share their experiences. Yeah, there was people that had got difficulties and things like that, because that's real life. But I sat there and I started to find this inner peace. And I was just content to sit in the background. I would sit on the back seat, the back row, so that I would just experience the experience without getting too involved in it. But then I got bitten by the bug of where I want to stand up in front of people and do the reading, do the inspirational talk, pass on one or two things. But in the spiritual circle, I was really, really struggling because I didn't get it. You know, there was people telling me that they got a message from my granddad, and there was things coming in from like predicting my future and things like that. And I just like, I don't get any of this. And then it comes round to you. Have you got anything? No. And this went on and on and on for a number of weeks, until the instructor realized that I was really struggling with all of this. So what he said to me was, if I got you to close your eyes, what would you tell me that you were seeing? Now, me, when I get in a pace of anxiety, the comedian in me comes out, you know, the nervous blur. that comes out there. So I had to have a humorous response. And the humorous response was, if somebody tells me to close my eyes, what am I going to visualize? Well, it's dark. No, he went, no. What I mean by this is, if I said to you, what is going on around you, what sense would you use? Well, me being with PTSD and things like that, I'm always listening, always switched on. If you take away my eyesight, I'm going with feelings. And he went, no, you're not understanding this. So I want to take you to a space that you're familiar with. So can you imagine, because again, we're talking about just little tweaks with words. If you can't visualize, can you imagine? Well, I've got a really vivid imagination. So he said, right, so all I want you to do is to just slow your breathing down. All right, we're going on a journey that you're familiar with. So, okay, I'm with you so far. Right. And if you notice with me, with all of my broadcasts, anything that I'm involved in, I'm quite handsy. Right. So the story goes along with my hands. And that's essentially how I'm visualizing it, that for emphasis, to make a point. So he said, right, just close your eyes. So I closed my eyes and he said, can I take you to your living room? My living room is somewhere that I spend a lot of time. I don't spend as much time as I used to, but at that particular point, I spent a lot of time in there. So he said, can you tell me what's on the wall that's facing you? Well, that's fairly easy. There's a radiator on there, and above that radiator is pictures of my children. There's a couple of certificates that. And they went, where are you getting this information from? Well, I just know it. You just know it, but it's not there literally in front of you. And there was a penny started to roll down the chute there a little bit, right? And I'm going, well, I feel it, I sense it, I know it. And he went, yeah. Right, what's on the other wall that's coming there? And I'm going, well, that's where my sofa is. And my hands are gesturing. How do you know that? Because I just do, because I've seen that so many times. So it's there as a visual. What do you think your imagination is? So be very mindful that when you're opening up this third eye chakra, that you're not actually handcuffing yourself to the literal, because it's that energy center that is, it's where everything goes on. It's where we see, we sense, we feel, we touch, we taste, are all going on in there. And it might be as simple as it's your imagination, but that imagination is being fueled by something. So this lesson then started to be learned, where I just started to say what I see, which is why when anybody comes to me in England, and I have to stress this because I don't know whether you get this program over there, that there's a program called Catchphrase. And the idea behind that catchphrase is something shows up on a computer screen. It could be a phrase or a saying or a series of words, and you just say what you see. Mm-hmm. Right? And it will. So that is my style of working. I went and did a session with somebody, and I talked myself into it, that this is kind of like I'm being thrown to the deep end there. And what we were going to do was we were going to go and experience what is called platform. And this just, you go up on platform and you deliver your spiritual messages. I'm thinking, well, if I can blag this like I usually do, I'll go up there and experience the experience. But unless they really call on me, I'm not going up on that stage, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to absorb. I'm going to watch how people sort of do this energy work. Well, when we got up there was only 4 people. And I'm like, we ain't going to get through an 8-hour day or 6-hour day without me getting up there. And I was really, really nervous. So I gets up there on the stage at my point, and what we've been told is that if you was imagining and you're bringing in a spiritual energy, start to work from the footwear up. So I'm in a state of panic now because I have got nothing. I've gone into the analytical mind and I'm thinking that people are expecting something out of me. I've got to deliver. And I kind of shook myself down. So I stood there, and I'm going to be honest about this. I blagged it. I looked round the room and I saw a guy with a parachute regiment tie on. with a typing on. So in my imagination, I went, right, so I've got a gentleman around you, sir, that is showing me the forces connection. Now, I know that you've got the forces tie on, but he's showing me with his boots. And then I went on to build this person up, right? And I said to him, can you take any of this information? Thinking it's a shoo-in because he's got this military tie on. He went, no. And I went, oh.
Oh, well.
The person that was sat 2 down from him went, I can take everything. I just think your radar's slightly off. So
Yeah.
I walked off after giving this message, like, oh, there was a blag that went wrong. But actually, the second guy came up and went, that was brilliant. That was absolutely spot on. My missus is congratulating me. The tutor's congratulating me. And I said to the wife, I was honest, I blagged that. She said, but did you?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. When you're in an environment with a client, they bring energies with you. So if you keep it honest, much like we were talking about in the last thing, whether it's your imagination, whether it's a feeling, whether it's a taste, whether it's a memory link, if you're lucky enough to literally see spirit, great, but orate it. Tell people what you're getting, because it's that little piece that can sometimes be the jigsaw puzzle, that can be the completion of something that person has spent hundreds of pounds, hundreds of dollars looking for. And you are the person that has been lucky enough to solve that particular puzzle. So for me, the third eye is known as my imagination chakra. When you're connecting in with the spirit world, then they're using you as a funnel. So the information is coming down to you, and imagine it like a big screen. And on that big screen is certain pictures that you've got to interpret and pass on. So I get really, really excited about the third eye chakra, because it brings in all of the stuff that we've worked on so far. So it's one of those chakras that for me, I'm never going to confidently say to you, I've got control over, because if we're not disciplined and we don't shut down, when we're going back into our normal world, it can overtake us, and we can end up, what's your phrase? Hippy dippy land.
Hippy dippy
And
land.
we can take a bus or a plane there, and sometimes we get stuck in there. And this is about having the discipline to know when we're working spiritually, and when we're needed back here, and we need to be conscious and aware of what our literal surroundings are, it's knowing the difference between the two. So I've waffled on quite a lot there, but I get really excited about the imagination.
No, and that's okay. My my students, I do have them do meditations and focus on that third eye, because it is key. I teach psychics. They have to be able to tap in. And for me, the reason why this third eye, we're in the chapel, or we're in the Zen center, we're in the meditation yoga area of the resort, is because we really do need to get quiet and commune with the gods. We need to hear those messages that come through. We need to use that sense, that second sight. It's a very old-fashioned thing to say, second sight. I do find that a little massage work does wonders here. I'll go clockwise for opening. I'll go counterclockwise for closing it. That is really key if you're doing any kind of psychic work, if you're trying to develop that second sight. So being able to close that down. Some people call it opening the circle and closing the circle. I say it's opening the vision and closing the vision. Once upon a time, I had a young medium come to me for training because she had too many spirits coming to her. And it was a kind of like a parade of spirits that would show up and start to give her messages. And I told her, I said, set hours and close up that third eye before you go to bed. She had little ones. So she was putting the baby to bed and then getting in bed herself and was being woken up. And I said, close the third eye, shut it down. So our colors for this are a violet indigo, a very deep purple blue, if you will. The note is F. which is one of the most healing frequencies that we can use. If you have a sound bowl or a tuning fork or anything that is in the resonance of F, the note of F, you're going to feel it cut right through your head. You're going to absolutely feel it. It's going to feel like your brain splits open and everything is just kind of open. This is a good thing. We need this to happen because when we get to that crown chakra, we want to have that open conduit. You know, at this point, all the work that you've done on all the other chakras going up, now everything's in alignment. We're getting that really nice communication, that electrical communication through that that conduit, that energetic conduit. So, you know, you really should be feeling things more powerfully. And I want to again stress that for the next week, work on your third eye chakra. Massage it when you do your facial treatment at the end of the day or the beginning of the day. Open it at the beginning of the day, close it at the end of the day. You will start to get some precognition, some intuitive messages that are going to come through. If you're uncomfortable with that, then don't do the massage. Don't open it and close it. But you know, pay attention over the next 7 days until we get to our final chakra, our crown chakra. Pay attention to it. Focus on it as you meditate. I tell everyone that psychic ability really is a superpower. It'll give you a sense of trouble with your kids, trouble with your spouse, trouble with your pets in some senses. You know, having an openness and a willingness to allow some psi ability and some energetic openness to come into your life is really going to equip you with another skill that maybe others are a little bit closed off to. So it can bolster and foster, you know, good works, things like that. Maybe if you're in sales, you'll be on the phone with the client and you'll just intuitively get, you know, this individual is being courted by another salesperson. I may lose their business because they're being courted by another salesperson. That kind of information is invaluable for success in a sales situation. In my prior job, I did use my psi ability quite frequently to check other markets to see who was coming after my clients. And it did work very, very well to great success. So that being said, we are quietly in the chapel or Zen center, and just very quietly reducing our physical noises so that we can start to hear some of those spiritual noises that come in. Rick, before we do our energy card, is there anything that you would like to add that I've left out?
Just one thing, and it is only a small thing, and this is a personal choice. So I've been fortunate enough to be doing shows around our country for the last 7 years, and I've got up despite huge doubts and occasional sort of dark days and things like that. But the first message I ever got from the spirit world that I take with me to this day is to do everything in gratitude. Right, so I open up in gratitude and I close in gratitude. And how I do that is I open up each individual chakra, all right, and I ask for guidance and protection as I expend my energy. When I'm closing down, I do the reverse and ask for everything to be guided, guarded, and protected as that energy is closed down. Now, spirit, remember, are non-judgmental and non-coercive, which means they won't judge you and how you perform, and they won't push you to do anything. They may well provide the impetus or the potential for doing something, and they might even shine a light on the path with you, but ultimately you're responsible for doing it. So one particular thing that I've done all of the time is I open up and I close down consistently in the same way. And I always do it with love. There's only been one occasion where I haven't done it with gratitude, and that was because I was absolutely infuriated. And I put that about the event that I'd done. It had not gone the way that I wanted it to. I felt like I'd wasted my time and my energy. So I got in the following morning ready to go and experience the next day. And I would apologize if I've had an outburst or said something wrong or anything like that. I would normally apologize. And I got in, and like I was saying on the previous one, honest communication. I turn around and say, I'm still not happy with the situation. However, what I am in gratitude for, and I always remember this, is that I've had the opportunities to experience that experience. Yes, I don't want to experience it again. Yes, what I said yesterday still stands. But thank you for being around me. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. And thank you for giving me the blessings that I do have. And it's always remembering yourself that even in that dark space that we can sometimes get into, where life's throwing us the hammers, we're getting all of what I would call the brickbats being chucked at us, that as long as we've got that opportunity to get up the next day, we can change what's not gone right. So gratitude for me forms a big part of my opening up and closing down. I don't always feel gracious about what's happened, but I'm thankful that I've been chosen, because what was said to me by a very drunk medium one day, because I was sat there and again in the place of doubt and whether I could do this, whether I could pass this across, whether I'd actually got the energy to be able to give across in my way. She said, think of it this way, that when you're working energetically, many people are called to step forward. Many people are asked to get on this pathway. It's up to you whether you answer the call or not. And that's always the same with my energy. There'll be some days where I will answer the call and you will get me with bells on. There'll be other days where I feel that I'm not up to par. But the thing is, every time I open up, spirit turn up. Universal energy, your guides, your gods, your angels turn up. So have the faith that whatever you're doing this energy work for with your chakras, that you've always got an ally. Now, whatever it is you believe in, that doesn't really faze me one way or the other. I'm not religious. I believe in universal source energy. I also believe in, as I've said in previous videos, about noticing synchronicities. So all of these things that we're experiencing is leading us somewhere. So remember that you don't lose in life. You either learn or you succeed. Either way, there's going to be progression. So if you're stuck with something, then you haven't quite learned that lesson. So thank the universe, your guides, your gods, your angels for giving you that insight, because nothing's permanent, good, bad, or indifferent. We're always on the move with something. It's only us that choose to keep ourselves stuck in that moment, re-watching a crap version of an episode we didn't like. So I love this nature of working in this business. Is it easy? Well, you'll be able to tell me your version of it. No, it isn't easy. Is it rewarding? Not always financially, but emotionally, spiritually, absolutely 100%. So remember gratitude if you take nothing else from this video.
Yeah, absolutely. And I pulled our Kyle Gray raise your vibration card, make way for miracles. Does that not make sense for the third eye chakra? It really is the opening to being very, very receptive to the sounds, smells, voices, and screaming calls from on high. So I think it's really important. So we are almost at the end of this little introduction to your chakra work and to your energy work. And again, I want to stress to everyone that Rick Paul can do a bespoke, customized version of this for you. His details are down below. And in the end video, he is mediumrick007@gmail.com. So we're going to be rounding out our vacation and we're going to be leaving in a very dramatic way. So We will see everybody in the next one. Thanks so much for going on this journey with us, this fabulous vacation to energetic wellness. As always, thanks so much, Rick. It's always so great to work with you. It really makes my day. But we will say cheerio, and we'll see everybody in the next one. Bye.